Good afternoon and welcome. We are bringing you live coverage on the Commentary Hub, live audio coverage of the Manchester Derby, Manchester United versus Manchester City. And alongside me today is Luke Turton. You'll hear from him in just a moment. Today is a fantastic opportunity for Manchester United to try to regain some form. They've struggled a little bit scoring goals. Marcus Rashford only scoring one this season. For Manchester City, the pressure is on them with Spurs' victory on Friday at Crystal Palace and Arsenal beating Sheffield United 5-0 today. We're going to just take a look at some of the changes in the starting lineup for Manchester United following their 1-0 victory over FC Copenhagen. They've made four changes. Regulon, Varane and Antony are out. Lindelof, Evans, and Ericsson are in. Three changes for them, rather. City have made four changes following their 3-1 victory over Young Boys in the Champions League. Akanji is out, Lewis is out, Nunes is out, Doku is out, replaced by Walker, Gavardiol, Alvarez, and Foden. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go straight to the starting lineups, and they are as follows. For Manchester United, who are managed by Eric Ten Hag, they have Andre Onana in goal. The back four is Victor Lindelof, Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, and Diogo Dalla. Holding midfielders are Scott McTominay and Sofyan Amrabat. Behind Rasmus Højlund is Marcus Rashford, Christian Eriksen, and the captain Bruno Fernandes today, who can, with a goal today, get his 150th goal for Manchester United. For Manchester City, who are managed by Pep Guardiola, of course, they have Ederson in goal, Josko Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz, and Kyle Walker, the captain, as a three-man defence. They have two holding midfielders, Rodri and John Stones. Four attacking midfielders today for City. Jack Grealish, who makes his 100th appearance for the club. Congratulations to him. Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, and Phil Foden, all behind the ever-present and dangerous Erling Haaland. The substitutes for Manchester United are Altay Bayinda, the goalkeeper, Sergio Regulon, Rafael Varane, Mason Mount, Hannibal Maybury, Anthony Martial, Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony and Kobe Mainu. For Manchester City, who seem to have all their attacking options on the pitch, do have some on the bench as well. Stefan Ortega is the goalkeeper, Nathan Ake, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Mateo Kovacic, Sergio Gomez. Mateus Nunes will make his 50th appearance in English football if he comes on today. Oscar Bob and Jeremy Doku. The lineup for Manchester City today, and we're just going to look at our referee today. It's Paul Tierney, age 42, from Wigan in Lancashire. Paul Tierney was promoted to the select group of referees in 2015, and Paul Tierney also officiated the 2023 FA Cup final between these two teams. He's had 7 appearances in all competitions, 34 yellows, 1 red, and 2 penalties. And he is joined on the line by Neil Davis, Scott Ledger, Craig Pawson is the fourth official. VAR today, Michael Oliver and Stuart Burt. And Luke, we certainly don't want VAR involved. It's already made its mark this season. Before I do bring you in, Luke, sorry, there is going to be a minute's silence in just a moment here for, of course, the sad passing of the great Bobby Charlton and, of course, the sad passing of Everton's chairman, Bill Kenwright. Well, that was a minute's applause in the end for the great Bobby Charlton and for Bill Kenwright. Well, Luke, looking at the starting lineup for Manchester City, particularly, they've gone very top heavy. How does Manchester United deal with this formidable front threat?
To be quite honest, I don't think they will deal with the front threat. I mean, at the end of the day, Manchester City have a scary front three, well, front four, shall we say, and I just don't think Manchester United will cope with it.
Well, definitely agree with you there. And as a team, they're just sort of waiting for some of the objects to be removed off the pitch. Looking at the overall, this is 191st Manchester derby. Manchester United still hold a slight lead over Manchester City with 78 wins for Manchester United, 59 for Manchester City, and there has been 53 draws. We are about to get the game underway with Manchester United in their red shirts, white shorts, and black socks. Of course, City also in their famous sky blue shirts, white shorts, and blue socks. And Manchester United, as usual in Old Trafford, will be attacking the goal to our right. And Scott McTominay has just got his foot over the ball, and we are underway here. And Manchester United are going to have a challenge on their hands to tackle this formidable Manchester City team. It's now back with Andre Onana. And Onana is just slips the ball to Harry Maguire, who got the goal for Manchester United in the game against Copenhagen during the week. In the Champions League. Onana just having some difficulty handling that. He does clear the ball, but he gives it right to Gvardiol, and Gvardiol challenging again, trying to win the ball back, but that's good work by Fernandez, and he gives the ball to Dalla. Dalla just drops it back to Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire now back to Onana as Manchester United again attempting to play from the back. And it's over there now in the middle with Scott McTominay. McTominay plays the ball forward. Here's Højlund. He drops the ball forward over on the far side now. Here is Rashford, left-hand side. Rashford cuts into the penalty area. Or he just pulls back for a moment and gives it to Christian Eriksen. Eriksen down this near side to Dalot. Dalot just outside the penalty area, launches it towards the back post. And Lindelof just keeps it in, but he just launches it. Attempting to cross the ball back into the penalty area. It goes over Ederson's crossbar. And early on, Luke, definitely a positive approach from Manchester United as well.
Yeah, after the couple of shaky moments for Onana, I think Manchester United definitely have tried to get on the front foot, and Rashford probably should have just carried on going towards the goal a bit further instead of cutting it back to Eriksen, in my opinion, anyway.
And here's Gvardiol now for Manchester City. And he's just holding the ball up. Oh, he's just been dispossessed now. No, and Manchester United coming forward. And it's McTominay. Edge of the penalty area. Can he get the shot away, McTominay? And it's right at Ederson. But this is very positive start by Manchester United. And City under pressure early on here. Gvardiol turned the ball over. And it comes to McTominay, edge of the penalty area, just not able to get the shot away that he wanted. And it is with Ederson now, and it's released, and Manchester City can try again, and it's Gvardiol again. He may be a bit more careful with it this time. He slips it back to Diaz, and Diaz now it's just got the ball just inside the centre circle. It's given it to Rodri. Rodri now just drops the ball again back to Diaz. Diaz has got Gvardiol with him along with Bernardo Silva. Gvardiol plays the ball there to Stones. Stones has got a bit of pace on him. He gives it to Silva. Bernardo Silva, one of these four behind Haaland. And the ball is now back with Diaz again as City will attempt to keep possession for long periods of time, looking for the right time to strike. Here's Rodri. Rodri over on the far side to Foden there, right hand side. Foden just pulls back, gives it to Walker. Walker drops it back into his own half, and it's Diaz. Diaz gets the ball back again. He's under pressure from Højlund and gives it to Foden, and Foden goes all the way back to Ederson. And looking at this, Manchester United haven't had a single goal in the first 15 minutes at Old Trafford, which is very, very interesting. We've also got some news, which I will give you in a moment. City have scored 4 goals in the first 15 minutes, and I'm going to give you that news now, actually. Just come in, and it's just been released. Bristol City have sacked their manager, Nigel Pearson, with the club in 15th position in the Championship. Luke, any thoughts on that?
Again, ridiculous. Managers getting sacked left, right, and centre. It should really not happen in the middle of the season.
Yeah, agreed. I absolutely agree with you, with you on that entirely. And the ball is now back with Stones. Stones just drops it back to Diaz, and Diaz just gives it back to Ederson. Ederson just chips the ball forward there, looking for Bernardo Silva. He's under the watchful eye of Ericsson. Gives it to Grealish. Made his 100th appearance today, of course. And here's Stones. Stones just turns away there from Bruno Fernandes and gives it to Diaz. Diaz gives the ball on the far side, right-hand side to Walker. Midway inside the Manchester United half. He tries to play it through to Højlund. Wasn't successful. And Rasmus Højlund wins the ball back now. And here's Rashford on the left-hand side. Rashford tries to play the ball through there to Lindelof. It was blocked by Diaz, but Lindelof picks up the loose ball. But there's our referee, Paul Tierney, has blown up, and there is going to be a free kick. But just looking at this again, as Manchester United are just really very positive early on. When we look at City and we look at this strong attacking lineup that they've put forward, Luke, are you surprised that it's Manchester United that have tried to stamp their authority on this game in the first 5 minutes?
On the viewing of this first 5 minutes, I just find that Man City are either one, too complacent on the ball, or two, there's too many players in a short space of the pitch getting in each other's way. Like, Stones and Rodri are falling over each other.
Yes, and the ball just picked up there by Maguire just inside the City half, gives it to Dalot. Gives it back to Harry Maguire. These two teams, of course, have met each other 190 times. Of course, the actual first meeting was way back on October the 1st in 1891 in an FA Cup first qualifying round in front of 11,000 people. The then Ardwick was beaten by Manchester United 5-1. News events at the time. And actually, on March the 3rd in 1891, the penalty kick rule in association football was conceived. Didn't come into effect until the next season. And on March the 18th, Britain is linked to the continent by telephone. Coming back to 2023, and it's back with Onana. And Onana is just going to. Onana now. Again, he didn't look very comfortable on the ball, Onana there. And I just wonder whether City will try and exploit that, especially with Manchester United playing from the back. And it's picked up by Kyle Walker. We're going to go through some other scores in a moment in the Premier League. Not a good day for Nottingham Forest, Luke. Here come Grealish. Grealish plays the ball long over on the far side to Bernardo Silva, left-hand side. Bernardo Silva, he's just got Dalot in front of him. He's trying to get the cross and he pulls it back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball to Stones. Stones slips it to Rodri. Rodri, an engine in that midfield. Rodri now, edge of the penalty area, slips it to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, left-hand side, level with the penalty area. Back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to Rodri. Rodri launches in and on the back post is coming in. It's Kyle Walker. They pulls it back to Foden. Great save. Surely it's going to be put in by Haaland, and it's not. Somehow that was saved. Somehow that was kept out. Luke, how did Haaland not put that in the net?
I'm honestly in shock of how that is not our first goal of the game. I mean, what a save initially from Onana, but then I think Haaland just loses sight of the ball. Because if Haaland had his eyes totally on where that was going, when he came in, he stumbles. Onana actually pulls it away from him again, and then Haaland's behind it.
Well, the corner has come in, but there is a foul, and it's going to be a free kick. But yes, I think you summarised that rather well, Luke, because you're right that the header came in from Foden. It was a good save by Onana. Now, Onana what I would say is Onana did sort of, instead of pushing the ball away from the goal, pushed it back in the centre, which certainly gave Haaland that chance. Perhaps Haaland wasn't expecting it, but despite the early pressure from Manchester United, it's Manchester City who come closest to scoring. And here's Eriksen. It just allows it to go back to Evans. But City coming forward again. And Haaland trying to get behind Evans. But good work by him. Evans just clears the ball away, but only finds Phil Foden. And it's back with Rodri. And Rodri just plays the ball to Gvardiol. And we will go through those Premier League scores in a moment. But here's Bernardo Silva, left-hand side, level with a penalty area. Gives the ball to Grealish. Grealish now just trying to cut into the penalty area, pulled back across to Silva. Silva tries to play the ball in, but that's good work by the Manchester United defence, just clearing that out. And it's going to be a throw in to Manchester City, just by the halfway line. The scores in the Premier League at the London Stadium: West Ham 0, Everton 1. Villa all over Luton. Luton have just pulled a goal back. It's Aston Villa 3, Luton 1. Brighton 1, Fulham 1. Nottingham Forest having a rough day at Anfield. Liverpool 3, Forest 0. And we, of course, 0-0 right now. And it's back with Diaz, just inside his own half of the field. Luke, we'll get your thoughts on the Nottingham Forest performance today at full time, of course. But yes, it's not been a good day for Forest so far, has it?
I'll speak at full time on that.
And it's back at the moment now with Gvardiol and Bernardo Silva. Gvardiol gives the ball away, and not for the first time. Here's Højlund now for Manchester United. Højlund tries to play the ball through to McTominay. Good work by Bernardo Silva, just getting back there and getting the interception. And Manchester United win the ball back, though. Certainly, I think at the moment, Luke, Manchester United outworking City right now.
Manchester United are benefiting from Manchester City's complacency on the ball, especially from Gvardiol. Like, you can't have that much time on the ball in the Premier League. You're playing Manchester United, they're going to be at it, they're going to be in your faces. And if Man City don't like that, they're going to get punished.
Well, it's definitely true. They are pressing Manchester City, and I think we discussed this in the past ourselves. We know that Manchester City don't seem to like that, Gvardiol. And it's now back with Diaz. Diaz just slips the ball forward there from Rodri. Rodri to Stones. Stones drops it back. And it's Kyle Walker. Walker flicks the ball over the top there, looking for the chasing Phil Foden. Lindelof trying to follow him back, but it comes off Foden and goes out of play for a goal kick. He just outrun it there, did Phil Foden, but that was a good idea by Kyle Walker, Luke.
Good idea. I just think that Phil Foden pushed the ball too far in front of him. Maybe got a little bit of a push from Lindelof, which just put him slightly off balance. But in the grand scheme of things, good idea, just wasn't quite executed well enough.
It's back with Onana now. Onana clears the ball downfield, and it's picked up by Gvardiol right on the halfway line. And Gvardiol just drops it back to John Stones. Stones just plays the ball over the halfway line. It's long on the far side to Phil Foden. Phil Foden now gives the ball there to Rodri, and Rodri just plays the ball down this near side to Jack Grealish. Grealish now gets inside the penalty area, left-hand side, pulled back. Oh, it's a poor ball by Grealish, and now Manchester United can go on the break, and it's Højlund, and he's got 3 in front of him, but he's got space there. It's Rashford over on the far side. Here's Eriksen, though. Eriksen has got Fernandes. Fernandes right in front of me is Rodri. Back to Eriksen. Eriksen just plays the ball to McTominay, corner of the Manchester City penalty area. McTominay driven back to the touchline, but Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes keeps the ball in play, but they are dispossessed now, and City can perhaps try on the break, but that's a very disappointing ball by Walker, and it just goes straight through to Harry Maguire, as once again, Manchester United pressing this Manchester City defence and forcing mistakes out of them. And the ball is played forward there by Evans. And it's now back with Evans again and goes back to Onana. And Onana just in the D of his penalty area there. He needs to be careful. He's been looked a bit unsure of himself at the ball with his feet at the moment. And Evans will just drop the ball back to Onana again. And Manchester United building up from the back. City at the moment now are going to try to press. And it goes back with Onana. Onana takes his time, but delivers a good clearance forward to Højlund, who is under pressure from Diaz and is adjudged to have been fouled. Paul Tierney, our referee today, has given that. Foul for you, Luke?
Yeah, I think he was just pulled down as he he backed in a little bit, and Diaz was all over him. Yeah, that's a foul.
All right, so we have a free kick just outside of the centre circle. Actually, just inside the centre circle, the free kick will actually be taken. He's giving it back to Harry Maguire. And Ericsson just plays the ball forward there, looking for Højlund. His first control wasn't great, but he still managed to find Diogo Dalot. And Dalot just drops it back to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has got some space in front of him. And he chooses to play the ball down this near side back to Diogo Dalot again. Dalot just pulls back to Fernandes, chasing his 150th goal today, remember. Fernandes just plays the ball across there to Johnny Evans in the centre circle, who just drops it back to Harry Maguire. Maguire had to chase that down a bit. It wasn't the best ball. Maguire now just gives the ball to Johnny Evans. Evans, and it's played. Oh, it's a disappointing pass that time. And well, that was Lindelof looking there, but the ball is played through for the chasing Erling Haaland, but Andre Onana reads that very, very well, and he clears the ball downfield, and it goes out for a throw-in, almost level with the City penalty area. You see the ball, the pass was made there very quickly, and Haaland was just a little bit too far ahead of him. And it's now back with the goalkeeper. Safe to say that Erling Haaland is definitely missing Kevin De Bruyne right now, who's not going to be back until January. We'll talk about that in a moment, Luke. But City are coming forward now with Phil Foden. Foden just slips the ball to Rodri, back to Foden, and it's now with John Stones. Stones almost on the edge of the penalty area. He slips it to Grealish. Grealish has got some space in the penalty area. He gives it to Silva. Silva gets the cross in. It goes all the way back to, just right back to Rodri on the edge of the penalty area. But he gets a foot underneath it and it goes over the crossbar for a goal kick. Good build up by City, Luke. Perhaps the final product just not there.
Yeah, the build-up was good from Man City. The link up between Grealish and Bernardo Silva, but then when the ball bounced down to Rodri, he just couldn't get himself over the ball, and it balloons over the bar.
Well, going back to what I was saying about Kevin De Bruyne and his relationship really with Erling Haaland. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne assisted on 11 of Haaland's goals, which was actually 15% of his 16 Premier League assists for the Norwegian. It has to be said that one of the reasons why Haaland may not be doing quite as well as he was last season may be due to the absence of Kevin De Bruyne. Just wondering what your thoughts on that are, Luke.
I still think that Haaland should be doing better with the players he's got around him. I just think it's a thing of the teams knowing that you can't give Haaland as much space as they did last season in the box because he will punish them. But I also think as well, the players behind him haven't been working hard enough to create the chances either.
Yeah, that's true. Here's Bernardo Silva. City now just trying to get their foot into this game. Gavardio gives the ball to Jack Grealish down the left-hand side. Grealish pulls it back to Bernardo Silva, and it's back now with Grealish. Grealish just slips the ball to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva gets the cross in, and it's just headed out by Maguire, and he finds Højlund. Højlund just not able to control that as well as he'd like, and Jack Grealish picks it up and drops it back to the halfway line where Ruben Diaz has the ball. Diaz just slips the ball back there, and he gets the ball back, does Diaz, off Kyle Walker, gives it back to Walker. Walker just drops it back to Rodri, who's a real staple in that Manchester City midfield and certainly key to a lot of what Manchester City do. A lot of quiet work done by Rodri, I think, that just really goes unnoticed, Luke.
Yeah, and you could see that when Rodri wasn't playing for those 3 games when he got suspended, City looked very lost.
Here's Diaz now. And he gives the ball to Gvardiol. Gvardiol just over the halfway line. And he drops the ball down this near side, looking for Grealish again. But awake to that was Diogo Dalla. Knocks the ball out of play. Throw in for City, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. It's now with Diaz again. Gets it inside the centre circle. And it's back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol just looking for options in front of him. He finds Jack Grealish again. Grealish has got some space in front of him and he slips the ball there to Alvarez. But upon slipping that ball back, Diogo Dalla gets in the way of that and it goes behind for a Manchester City corner. This is the second of the game for them, of course. And a chance to load up that penalty area. And you can see there, Rodri's in there, Haaland's in there, of course, as well as a Mata, of course. And joined by Silva, Gvardiol, Diaz, Stones, and Alvarez is going to take this corner. Manchester United's defence has its work cut out with this lot in the penalty area. It's going to be swung in by Alvarez. He decides to play it short to Stones, back to Grealish. Grealish cuts into the penalty area. Is he going to have a shot? Oh, he does, because Grealish, and Onana makes a save down to his left-hand side. It may have been going wide anyway, but I don't think Onana really could have took a chance with that. Grealish cut inside, just on the edge of the penalty area, on the line itself, in fact, curled it towards the left-hand side. It was definitely going wide, but Onana had to be sure, Luke.
Yeah, he's made a couple of decent saves so far on Onana. And that one, if he didn't make a save, probably was going in just that bottom corner, so it had only had to make, really.
Another corner for City. It's swung in, and Silva trying to get up there. It comes back to Grealish on the edge of the penalty area. Grealish just drops it back to Walker and back to Alvarez, middle of the Manchester United half. He launched it into the box, but it's headed out by Maguire. Manchester United not able to maintain possession now. And here's Walker. Walker gives the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez plays the ball forward and chasing that one down is Stones, but it goes not able to catch it. It goes behind for a goal kick. And with 20 minutes gone here, it is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 at Old Trafford. And what are your thoughts on the first 20 minutes, Luke?
Man United have probably had the better of the ball possession-wise. Man City have had a couple of clearer chances, but neither side have had much quality. So, yeah, 0-0's a fair reflection so far.
Haaland wins the ball with the header in midfield. And there's a free kick there for a foul. And Amrabat is protesting, but Foden is adjudged to have been fouled. And our referee, Paul Tierney from Wigan in Lancashire, has given a free kick. He's had a bit of a quiet start to the year as Paul Tierney. Last year, he was one of the top 3 in terms of appearances. So far, he's actually not even in the top 10 for Premier League appearances this season. But he's been given the task of officiating this match. What a match it is. It's going to be a free kick. It's right over on the corner of the penalty area, but a good 30 yards out as Alvarez swings it in. And good work by Dalla. It's a good header by him, and then cleared away again by Maguire, and it's launched back in again. But Amrabat this time just knocks it back to Bruno Fernandes with the head, and now maybe Manchester United, who are playing themselves into a spot of trouble here. Finally, Fernandes just hacks the ball away, and Alvarez just keeps it into the Manchester United half. Maguire now battling there with Haaland and wins that battle. And it's played forward by Victor Lindelof. Just holding the ball up now there is Rasmus Højlund. He drops it back to Fernandes. Fernandes back to Lindelof again. Lindelof's desperate ball looking for Dalla. Does not find him, but Dalla does eventually try to win the ball back and he gets it back to Onana. Onana clears the ball downfield and it's won by Gvardiol. Gvardiol is able to find Rodrigo and Rodri is actually adjudged to have handled the ball, and the referee is just going over to the VAR booth. Is looking at something. We're not sure exactly what it is. We're just going to find out what that is in the fullness of time. But he's been ordered to go over. He's been asked to go over to the VAR booth, and he's looking at something. Luke, do you have any idea what this might be? Penalty
Absolutely
check.
no idea. Oh, right.
Let's have a look.
So,
Oh yes, it could be the arm there on Rodri by Hoyland. That actually to me, Luke. I don't know about your opinion on this, but that to me is a penalty because if it's in the middle of the park, you're giving it, aren't you?
That's just silly from Hoyland. There's absolutely no need whatsoever. And you basically try to do that to stop a goal, and you're more than likely probably going to give away a goal. What an absolutely ridiculous thing to do.
Well, I would definitely agree with you. Now, Paul Tierney's taken the time to look at this. Perhaps he's judging whether or not there's enough contact, but for me, that is a penalty. In my mind, anyway. I mean, he's got his hands on him, and we're going to get the official decision now, and it is a penalty. So we have a penalty here for Rasmus Hoyland, as Luke said, desperate challenge, ridiculous challenge on Rodri. Indeed, he didn't need to do it, and well, he might look at himself and begin to wonder why he made such a decision, because now we have a penalty. And Eric Ten Hag is looking at it, but Luke, I don't think he can disagree with it, can he?
He'll find a way, but no, you can't disagree with it really, but he'll find a way to. But to be honest, if you're in the box, you cannot be making a stupid, ridiculous challenge like that and expect to get away with it when VAR's around. That is just ridiculous.
Well, taking this one now is going to be. It looks well. There's three players there. Rodri has moved away. There's Haaland preparing, stepping up, and also Diaz. So we just. I would suspect it to be Haaland, Luke, but it's.
I think I think Diaz is just there to create a little bit of confusion.
Yes, it's possible mind games, isn't it? That's what it is. But Haaland is stepping up to take this penalty. If you just joined us, you've joined us at just about the right time, as Haaland steps up to take this penalty kick. And Andre Onana, you've got well, the challenge he's facing right now with this penalty. We have 25 minutes gone, and Haaland will step up now. Just waiting for the referee's whistle, and here we go. Here's Haaland, sends Onana the wrong way, and puts it in the bottom left-hand corner. And Manchester City are 1-0 up. Whether or not they deserve to be, they are. A ridiculous challenge, as Luke said, by Hoyland in the penalty area. Gave that penalty to Haaland, and he dispatched it with relative ease. And it is 1-0 to Manchester City. And Luke, your thoughts, please.
That is how you take a penalty. You bury it in the bottom corner, giving the keeper absolutely no chance if he's dived the other way. And I mean, Man City are probably um fortunate to be the ones leading this so far, although they have had the two chances. But I do think Manchester United had a better overall play. But again, if you don't make anything of the possession, then you're going to get punished. And especially if you go and do stupid, ridiculous pullbacks in the box, like Hoyland did on Rodri. It's just stupid. There's no reason for him to do that. I mean, Rodri makes a meal of it, but in this day and age, you only have to have a pullback.
Well, that's very true. And it's now back with Andre Onana. And Onana just plays the ball forward to Ericsson. So City take the 1-goal lead at Old Trafford in the Manchester derby. First blood to the Blues. And it's over there on the far side to Lindelof. Lindelof drops it back to Amrabat. Amrabat just gives the ball to McTominay. McTominay just drops the ball back there to Harry Maguire as Manchester United find themselves behind. And it's now with Amrabat again. Over on the far side to Lindelof. Lindelof drops the ball back to Amrabat. Amrabat just gives the ball to Evans. Evans drops it back to Harry Maguire midway inside his own half of the field. When scoring first, Manchester City have lost only one in 66 games since May 2021. That is a startling and incredibly sobering statistic for Manchester United. And here's Dalot. Dalot drops it back to the goalkeeper, Onana. And Onana, well, he needs to be careful, but he plays the ball out and he gives the ball away, in fact. And here's Kyle Walker and inviting more pressure now from Manchester City. And Walker just holds up the ball and gives it to Foden. Foden. And it's back with Rodri. And gives it back to Gvardiol inside his own half. A City build up again from the back with Bernardo Silva. Back to Gvardiol. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. And the Commentary Services would Commentary Services is the official player of the match sponsor on the hub, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Just to let you know, this game is also being brought to you by Turton Talks Football. Please feel free to subscribe to that if you like what you're hearing. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And City have the ball now just inside the Manchester United half of the field with Erling Haaland. And the ball is played forward there, though, by Maguire. It was a good intended ball and, well, a risky back pass as well by Rodri there. And Ederson just got out before Fernandes. So risky back pass there, Luke.
Both sets of outfield players are putting their goalkeepers in impossible positions and then making the goalkeepers look like absolute mugs. Like, stop playing risky balls back to your keeper and creating pressure on the goalkeeper to then do something useful with it. So at the end of the day, it usually would end up in the ball going straight out of play and making the goalkeeper look like an idiot.
Well, here's Victor Lindelof. He gives the ball there to Evans. Evans being put under a bit of pressure. He manages to win the throw-in, and Andre Onana has been booked. And so we have the yellow card for Andre Onana. Now, I assume it's something he said to the referee. We'll try and find that out for you, but I believe it is for dissent. Perhaps Manchester United are still complaining about the penalty given, but I really don't think they've got anything to complain about. Although, as Luke says, I'm sure they'll find a way. Here's Onana. The ball is over on the far side there to Evans. Evans clears the ball forward, but good work by Walker to intercept that. And the ball is played back, and now Højlund's in with a chance for Manchester United. Can Højlund score? He goes round Ederson, but he takes it too far. And he's got it now, and he plays the ball back across there. Does Højlund for Fernandes, but Fernandes puts it wide. And just for a second there, Luke, Højlund got inside the Manchester City defence. It was a bad back pass. And Højlund just got inside the defence and round Ederson, but he just took it too wide. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he has to hit it more or less either first or second time when he gets near the box. Because otherwise, I think it was John Stones starts to muscle him off the ball and just puts him off, and then Ederson gets the touch on it to push it wider. So really, Højlund took way too long over that.
Credit to Højlund, though. He stayed on his feet. Here's Bernardo Silva. Silva plays the ball across looking for Haaland, intercepted comfortably by Evans, but it only goes back to Jack Grealish. And now Bernardo Silva to Stones, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Stones plays the ball across to Kyle Walker. I think it was Walker that played that poor back pass. Here's Foden now. Cuts across, just dropped back to Rodri. And it's now with Foden again, edge of the penalty area. Foden turns, he lifts the ball over down to the left-hand side to Jack Grealish, corner of the penalty area. Jack Grealish tries to play the ball in there, and he manages to find Foden again. It's good work by Foden. He's all over the place at the moment. And he seems to be switching from side to side, and he's been very effective for Manchester City, Luke.
Yeah, I think Foden's got that free roaming role to just appear wherever he likes, and that's going to create utter havoc for the Manchester United defence.
Well, it just came off Foden as well and goes behind for a goal kick. But the ball is played long now, and it goes all the way through to Ederson in the Manchester City goal. As Ederson just trying to slow things down a little bit, gives it to John Stones. Stones seems to have just sort of dropped back into a more centre-back role. And he's just given the ball to Kyle Walker now, just on the halfway line. Walker just drops the ball back. And he goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, who is Ederson. Ederson also played in the Champions League group stage in the week as well. City victorious over Young Boys. Good ball by Ederson. Finds Gvardiol. Gvardiol slips the ball now back to Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. and he gets the ball back, does Gavardiol. Gavardiol gets the cross in, and it's a poor cross. It's over and behind for a goal kick. Not the best cross by Gavardiol, Luke.
No, it was a poor cross. Really should expect better from a player of Guardiola's quality.
Well, it's going to be a goal kick now, and Manchester United are going to do that one thing that I find so confusing. In this case, it was Johnny Evans that played it back to Onana in the 6-yard box, and Onana clears the ball downfield to John Stones. Stones heads the ball on, and he gets the ball back. And here's Gavardiol again, just slips the ball forward to Grealish. Grealish just inside his own half of the field. He seems to be being played back there, but that's a nice ball that he lifts over the top to Kyle Walker. And Walker now just plays the ball down to Foden again. Foden has got Lindelof and McTominay in front of him. And it's back with Rodri, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. He just drops the ball back there to Diaz. Diaz and lifted the ball back to Gavardiol inside the centre circle, still inside the Manchester United half as City attempt to double their lead here. Bernardo Silva just plays the ball back to Gavardiol. Bernardo Silva drops the ball back. Free-flowing football by Manchester City. And it's played back into his own half by Gavardiol, but only as far as Ruben Diaz. Diaz now just taking his time, looking for options. Manchester United not pressing City at the moment. Here's Kyle Walker, and it's dropped back to Diaz. Diaz just looking for what options he's got available. He finds Rodri. Rodri plays the ball down this side to Bernardo Silva. Silva back to Grealish. And Grealish plays the ball back to Silva, edge of the penalty area. Silva attempts a back heel. He still manages to maintain possession. Here's Stones. Stones now. Drop back to Gavardiol. Midway inside the Manchester United half. And Diaz just tries to play the ball forward to Haaland. Back off Stones, and that's come off Amrabat, and it's come to Rodri. Rodri over on the far side to Foden again, right-hand side. Alvarez gets the cross in, and it seems to be Maguire just didn't deal with that properly. Eventually, he knocks it behind for a corner, but just for a moment, Maguire just didn't deal with that properly there, Luke.
There seems to be a couple of shaky players in there at the minute. Onana, Maguire. But Maguire's head actually was headed straight into the chest of Dalot. So maybe Maguire was trying to deal with it and Dalot just got in the way.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. But the corner's going to be taken by Alvarez now. He's going to swing this one in, and it's headed out there. This time by Johnny Evans. It's a good header, and but Jack Grealish has the ball about 30 yards from goal. Gives it back to Alvarez. Alvarez just swings the ball across there, and it's back now with Gavardiol. Gavardiol just over the halfway line. Picks the ball up, does Gavardiol now. Is looking for the options, what he's got available. And that's a good ball by Rodri to Grealish. Grealish fouled, and that'll be a free kick. We may also see a yellow card here by Johnny Evans. No, Paul Tierney keeps his card in his pocket. Right decision in your mind, Luke?
No, I'd have booked him. That was a poor tackle.
Yeah, you can see there it's extremely late, isn't it?
Late, poor, rash tackle. That's a yellow card. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
if he takes his leg away, that's a yellow card. That's a
Yeah.
poor decision.
Well, for Manchester City, they've got a corner right. They've got a free kick right on the corner of the penalty area, and down the left-hand side, and you can see Alvarez, Diaz, and Foden are all over this. And just going to see who's taking that in as they plan this. Perhaps something from the Pep Guardiola playbook. We'll just right on the corner of the penalty area. This is an excellent opportunity for Manchester City. Foden and Alvarez are over it, and Haaland's in there. Oh, it's actually a shot by Alvarez. Onana was awake to it and turns it behind for a corner. But just looking to catch Onana out of position there. But in the end, it was a comfortable save by Andre Onana, Luke.
Yeah, but he had to be awake and he had to be alive to it, and luckily for Onana, he was.
Well, corner's going to be taken again, and it's going to be Alvarez who took that shot. He's going to take the corner, and it's swung in towards the back post. It's headed out by Maguire, helped on by Amrabat, but only as far as Foden. Foden, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Foden just swings the ball in, and it's flicked on there by Rodri, but it just goes harmlessly behind for a goal kick. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Commentary Services is the official player of the match sponsor on the Hub. And Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. We're also bringing you this game on Turton Talks Football. Please feel free to subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And you can like our Twitter page at Commentary Live 1 and our Facebook page at facebook.com/Commentary Hub. And the ball is played forward now, looking for Alvarez. He's under the pressure by Amrabat, but Alvarez turns away very well there from Amrabat, and he plays the ball down this left-hand side to Jack Grealish as he gets into the penalty area. Grealish, edge of the penalty area now. He's going to strike the shot, but it's going to take a deflection off Amrabat and go behind for another Manchester City corner. Well, certainly since Manchester City's goal, they definitely have taken more of an ascendancy in this game, and they'll have another opportunity now. This is their sixth corner, as Alvarez will go over to take it. And well, at the moment, the Manchester United crowd, because City are attacking the Stretford end, they look very apprehensive right now, and Alvarez is going to swing this ball in, and it's just headed out again by Maguire this time, and it's back with Kyle Walker. Walker just plays the ball across there. Oh, it was a short ball, but Foden did well to get there first to retrieve it. And Walker will have another opportunity. He plays the ball out to the left-hand side to Grealish. Grealish keeps it in play with a header. Alvarez, it's actually Jack Grealish was not able to keep the ball in play, having said that. So, Luke, with 5 minutes to go to half-time, it's City leading in the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. What's your thoughts on the first half so far?
Been very kind of scrappy with the play. I think a little passed about, quite a lot of errors coming around. They're not really being careful with who they're playing the balls to. And again, even the penalty came from a ridiculous foul from Højlund on Rodri. So yeah, I think there could be more quality in this game to come. Yeah.
Here's Walker. Walker just drops it back to Rodri. Rodri now midway inside the Manchester United half. Just turns away there, does Rodri, and he plays the ball down the far side there to Foden. Foden, right-hand side, just decides to go back a little bit. City quite happy just to keep possession right now. And there's Stones. He gives it back to Foden. Foden again, just being played back a little bit. Here's Gvardiol. And it's just down to Grealish. Grealish played into the penalty area. Grealish gets it back. And the ball, there's a foul there, and it's going to be a free kick. And Foden just moving away there. And Foden and Amrabat going head to head. And then Grealish steps in as well. Well, now we are just going to have a stoppage in play as temper's just getting the better. And, well, we're just seeing the referee, Paul Tierney, now just having a word with Amrabat. And yellow card for Amrabat and yellow card for Foden. That's usually the outcome in situations like this. We'll just take a look at this again. It's Jack Grealish who gets the ball on the edge of the penalty area. And it's Grealish goes down, and then Amrabat goes down, and then Foden falls on top of him. And that just generates this kind of head-to-head sort of clash, if you will. Foden is... Yes, they both received a yellow card. It's Amrabat's second of the season, in fact. And the ball is out of play now. It's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. Ball goes out of play. It's going to be Erik ten Hag now just going just going right back to his seat there. He's just going to be having a word with one of his assistants. And the referee just still got a delay in play here, so we're just going to see exactly what's... Okay, so City have a corner. Outswung, and it's headed out there by Rashford, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. And Bernardo Silva is going to take that throw-in. And Gvardiol has got the ball now. And it's a ball that's played across to Walker. Walker has got an opportunity now to see what he can do. He plays the ball down the side to Phil Foden. And the cross comes in, and it's knocked behind by Johnny Evans. And it's going to be another corner to Manchester City. As we approach half-time, 44 minutes gone, we're almost in stoppage time, and it is still Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0 at Old Trafford. We have 4 minutes of stoppage time given by our fourth official, Craig Pawson. And it's outswung and headed up into the air by Rashford. Maguire heads the ball out as well. And here is Grealish. Grealish plays the ball across, and it's launched into the penalty area. And as far as Grealish goes again, and it's just cleared away now by Manchester United as they will move forward. And it's played as far as Rashford, chasing this one down the left-hand side. That's a fine challenge by Gvardiol, but it's now back with Eriksen. Eriksen just plays the ball forward here, and back with Maguire. Maguire just plays the ball to Rashford. Rashford plays the ball forward now, looking for Højlund. Can Højlund get inside? Højlund with a shot. Oh, that's a wonderful save by Ederson and keeps City's lead intact. And you can see here, just gets the shot away. That's a good effort. And it's a good save by Ederson. The corner's taken quickly. It's crossed in again, this time by Eriksen, but he gets too much on that, and it goes over for a goal kick. And Manchester City holding on to this 1-goal lead at the moment, but that was a wonderful save from the shot from McTominay, and just palmed away by Ederson. And it is a you see Erik ten Hag there. It's a goal kick here now for Manchester City, and Ederson takes it. It's cleared downfield, and here's McTominay. McTominay just slips the ball there to Eriksen. Fernandes back to Eriksen. Eriksen's got space in front of him. Oh, he had Lindelof with him, and now Manchester United get the ball back, and it's Rashford. Rashford gets the cross in. It's headed up into the air. That may go over the crossbar. Indeed, it does. It's going to be a corner. And Manchester United have a corner at the end of this first half. And we are inside the last 90 seconds of this first half in injury time. This is minimum, of course. And the corner is going to be outswung by Bruno Fernandes. And it's headed on goal, but behind for a goal kick. And it's another chance goes begging for Manchester United. And we're going to have a goal kick here. Okay. Seems that we may be having some trouble with the link. If you are listening, you can listen on Turton Talks Football. for some reason on the commentary hub, the link doesn't seem to be working. And the ball is over onto the far side. And it's played down on the far side now to Jack Grealish. Grealish pulled back there back to Stones. Stones cuts in field. Gives it back to Grealish. Grealish. And it's Bernardo Silva in the penalty area. Silva gets across in, and there's Haaland! Oh, what a save! What a fantastic save by Andre Onana, who keeps Manchester United in this game. The cross came in by Bernardo Silva. There's a header by Haaland. Oh, it should have been 2-0, but what a save by Onana. And Luke, let's get your thoughts on that one.
That was an insane save by Erling Haaland, by Onana, sorry, from Haaland's header. Threw himself across the goal and just basically managed to get two hands on it and push it out for that corner.
Okay. Well, what a chance there. Now, I understand that some of you may be having some difficulty on the commentary over the halftime whistle's blown here. And I'm going to get Luke Turton's thoughts in a minute, but I understand some of you are having some difficulty getting access to the stream on the commentary hub. If you go to Turton Talks Football or TC Hub 2, you'll be able to hear it. So I'm just going to post in the chat here. Just as we approach half time here, I'm just going to post this as into the commentary hub, into the comment section, so that you can all gain access to this if you need it. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the scores for half time. And they are as follows. West Ham 0, Everton 1. Aston Villa 3, Luton 1. Brighton 1, Fulham 1. Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0 are all full-time scores. Half-time here, of course, it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 1. And what we're going to do now, we're just going to get, before we go for a half-time break, we're just going to get Luke's thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, I think the first half, there's some very sloppy passes around and about, but then also there's some bits of play that were good. I think Gvardiol definitely was wanting to get his passing range a bit better. The penalty was a ridiculous tackle from Haaland. Again, why? Just there's no need for it. I think Man City look a bit better with Rodri now back. I'm not quite sure why they need both Stones and Rodri in the same team. Man United started well, but then they basically just got dominated all over by Man City after the penalty. Maybe they need to look at changing it up a little bit, get somebody else with a bit of an out ball on the other side, like Rashford is on the left side. But all in all, there's been some good saves by Onana. Yeah, I think 1-0 at half time is probably a fair reflection to City. But again, I think there's a bit more quality that we can get out of this game yet.
All right, thank you, Luke. We are going to take a half-time break now, and we are going to be back for the second half. So please join us then, and we will be right back after the break. welcome back to this coverage of Manchester United versus Manchester City, Manchester Derby. We are, of course, at half time right now, waiting for the players to come out to the second half. At the moment, we understand that we have had some issues with the Commentary Hub channel bringing this audio coverage. Want to apologise for that. You can listen to the game on Commentary Hub 2 and Turton Talks Football. And we will get on with the technical stuff with YouTube in the course of time. But thank you very much for tuning in if you are able to on Commentary Hub 2 and Turton Talks Football. Luke, 1-0 for Manchester City at half time. Do you see Manchester United getting back into this game in the second half? If so, how do you think they go about it?
Um, well, Manchester United need to just get a bit of an outboard on the other side and create a little bit more, because the minute Man City are basically just doing them over.
Yeah, well, that's certainly true. We've got the players out in the second half now, the Manchester United players. Looks like we may well see a substitution for Manchester United. Mason Mount is readying himself now to come on. Just going to take a look and see who he is in fact going to replace. But we can confirm that Mason Mount is now coming on for the second half. There's Erling Haaland. And Eric Ten Hag now coming out, trying to encourage the Manchester United crowd. And I just wonder whether it's going to be Eriksen. Do you think? Do you think, Luke?
Well, no, Ericsson's out there, McTominay's out there.
It's Amrabat, isn't it?
It's going to be Amrabat, isn't it? Like, he's been booked and he's losing his head a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think
Number
that's.
4.
Yeah, it's Amrabat. Yeah. So Amrabat is coming off, and Mason Mount is coming on, and we are about to get this second half underway here. And we are back with Manchester City ready to kick off here for the second half, and we are underway. And they go all the way back to Ederson in the Manchester City goal. And Ederson clears it down long field, and Erling Haaland just heads the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw in for Manchester United. And Mason is taken quickly there, in fact, by Lindelof. Lindelof just plays the ball back to Eriksen, who knocks the ball on. Mason Mount wearing number 7, if you're watching and following along. And there is Evans. Evans just clears the ball away from Haaland, and it's picked up there by Mason Mount, gets his first touch of the game. It goes back to Johnny Evans. Evans is now just going to cut away there from Phil Foden, and he manages to find a good ball to Rashford, who knocks it on to Eriksen. Manchester United now attacking the Stretford end in this second half. We'll go through the lineups here in just a moment. The ball is played forward now, and in an offside position is Bruno Fernandes. So let's just run through the lineups for you for Manchester United. Andre Onana in goal, Victor Lindelof, Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, Diogo Dalot, Scott McTominay, now Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford, Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, and Rasmus Højlund. For Manchester City, Ederson, Josko Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz, Kyle Walker, Rodri, John Stones, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, and Erling Haaland, who has got the 25th minute goal from the penalty spot. And Walker just wins the ball illegally there, and it's going to be a free kick. And Eriksen just over this one. Still 1-0 from the penalty from Erling Haaland. So midway inside the City half, Eriksen's going to have the opportunity with a free kick. He just plays it short to Rashford. Rashford just goes through the legs of Alvarez. Cheeky move by Rashford. And he's just going to let that go behind now for a corner. And Manchester United are going to just try to do something now to get back into this game. Goes all the way out to Fernandes with a shot. Oh, that's a good effort. Dropping right in front of Ederson. It's a smart save in the end, Luke.
Yeah, Manchester United are always looking to do the quick corners, free kicks, and generating something a bit special from them, and being a bit more unusual than just putting the ball into the box. So I wasn't surprised that Man United did that.
Well, here's John Stones, gives it back to Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker just inside the Manchester United half of the field. Rodri just knocks the ball onto Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, edge of the box, crosses it in, and on the back post there is Foden, and that is a chance. And Phil Foden just really balloons it over the crossbar and wide. But you have to say, Luke, that is a great, great chance again for Manchester City. Phil Foden just inside the 6 yard box. He's got to do better there, doesn't he?
He has to do better. Like, I think should go with his other foot. You're trying to go with the inside foot. Just go with your other foot, and you'll score. You went with his wrong foot, and you went totally off balance over the bar, and it just looked absolutely embarrassing. Go with your other foot, you'll probably score.
And the ball is cleared out to Onana. And here's Bruno Fernandes now. Fernandes tries to play the ball forward, but it's a poor ball and comfortably won back by Gvardiol. And he gives the ball back to Ederson. Ederson lifts the ball forward. I'm just looking there for Foden again, and it's one touch play by City. It's beautiful football. Here's Alvarez. Alvarez, long ball over on the far side, and it's Grealish now. Grealish, corner of the penalty area, cuts inside. Jack Grealish. Here's Bernardo Silva. Ball pulled across. There's Haaland, and it's 2-0. And it's Haaland's second of the game. And it's Manchester City. We're at the double at Old Trafford. And it's Haaland. And Luke, you're hardly surprised. Football like that, it's award winning, isn't it?
That was an insane move, but it was far too easy for Haaland. Like the ball just pinged around, and it gets put straight across the field into more space, and then the ball gets put across the box after a switch of play, and Haaland's unmarked, he just heads it straight across into the net. I mean, brilliant ball from Bernardo Silva, and just headed straight into the net. I mean, how much easier do you want it to be for a striker in front of goal? I mean, that's what Haaland does week in, week out last season, and he's not going to miss that sort of chance. That is absolutely astounding from a City point of view. But United just don't seem with it. They really don't seem with it in the second half after that little flurry with the corner. They don't seem like they want to do anything.
Well, Manchester United are now 2 goals down and they face a Goliath struggle now to get back into this game against a Manchester City team that is really starting to click. Here's Johnny Evans, and he goes back to Andre Onana. Onana just plays the ball now to McTominay. McTominay under pressure from Bernardo Silva. And Manchester United now do win the ball back. And over the halfway line is Bruno Fernandes. And he gives the ball to Rashford. Rashford, edge of the penalty area. He's just challenged there, but the ball breaks loose for Fernandes. Fernandes back to McTominay. McTominay cutting across the penalty area there. The cross came in from uh, what looked like just not quite sure who that is over there. I want to say it's Fernandes, but the cross came in, was blocked anyway, and the referee has blown up. And you can see here the cross coming in. It's a good block, but it's the referee had blocked the game. It was actually Dalla with a cross, and it's a block by Grealish, but. The referee seemed to have seen some sort of. I'm not sure what the referee blew up there for, Luke. To be honest, uh, here is Ederson. He clears the ball downfield, and it's out of play for a throw-in. And Marcus Rashford is going to take this. He hands the ball over to Lindelof. And Eric Ten Hag, the Manchester United manager, well, he looks very, very animated right now, and well, he might. Here's Andre Onana, long ball forward, and he picks out there Rashford. Rashford. It's now with Lindelof. Lindelof. Oh, cheeky back heel by Fernandes, but now is really not the time to do that, to be honest. And he gives the ball back to Manchester City, and that's careless play, Luke.
Yeah, I think Manchester United need to keep it simpler. But why has all of a sudden goalkeepers decided that they're going to come out of the box and just start being another outfield player? You're a goalkeeper. Stop coming out and thinking you're an outfield player. It doesn't fulfill me with much delight.
Are you listening, James Trafford? The ball is long over the halfway line, and it's back with Evans. Evans again, just inside the Manchester United half of the field. And Evans goes back there to Andre Onana. And Onana again, he's out, dangerous position, but he just played the ball forward and it's headed on by Lindelof. Just won back there by Foden, knocks it back into the Manchester United half of the field. That's a good header by Haaland. Well, he was looking for Alvarez, but it just went over his head. It was the right idea, I would say, but just over Alvarez's head and goes out for a throw into Manchester United. And there is Pep Guardiola. He's never happy, is he? Even when he's winning, he's never happy. He's never satisfied. Maybe that's what makes him so successful, I suppose.
Good. It shows drive and he wants perfection, and you're never going to get it, so you're never going to be happy. Good. That's what I like.
Here's Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball across, but there was nobody there. And it's just a comfortable take by Andre Onana. And there's McTominay, plays the ball forward, but it's a disappointing pass by McTominay, and it's picked up by Kyle Walker, as Manchester City really are in full control of this game now. Here's Kyle Walker. He's got options in front of him. Just as a back heel to Rodri. And it's now with Stones. Stones over on the far side there to Grealish. Grealish, he's got Dalot in front of him. Left-hand side, gives the ball to Bernardo Silva, corner of the penalty area. Grealish just plays the ball there to Walker. Walker down this side to Phil Foden. Foden cuts inside, plays the ball in there to Fernandes. Back to Alvarez. And Alvarez back there with Walker, and Walker goes back to Diaz. And there is Gvardiol. He plays a good ball there to Bernardo Silva, midway inside the Manchester United half. It's Jack Grealish over on the left-hand side, tries to just cut away from Dalot, but that's good defending there from Diogo Dalot, and he still maintains possession. Good work by Dalot. The ball is given away by Maguire, though, all that hard work undone. Here is Alvarez, gets into the penalty area, Alvarez. He's totally unmolested there, is Alvarez. And finally, Lindelof comes over to challenge, but that's really sloppy defensive play, Luke.
Yeah, Maguire needed to do better, and they needed to close Alvarez down a bit faster. But at the end of the day, I think Alvarez has got that silky pace that's going to cause problems for any defence.
Well, the throw is to be taken by Kyle Walker into the penalty area to Haaland. Haaland back to Walker. Walker just moving away, but he decides to go back, and this is very typical of Manchester City. Diaz goes all the way back to the goalkeepers. City, when they tend to start building up from the back and always go to the back and then play forward. It's a very interesting style of play by Pep, Luke. I've got to be honest, like when I see City do this, they're sometimes well in the other half of the field and they just go all the way back and start again. Here's Foden. We'll get your thoughts on that in a minute. Here's Foden. Manages to knock it off Stones, and now here's Grealish. Grealish, edge of the penalty area. Grealish with a shot. It's a good save by Andre Onana. But once again, Luke, they're not closing down the City forwards. Grealish had far too much time there.
I have to admit, if it wasn't for Andre Onana, this would be like 6 or 7-0 today. I mean, for all of his kind of non-confidence with the ball at his feet, his shot stopping is insane. Like, that was a brilliant save. There was a Haaland save he made in the first half as well. Some pretty decent saves, and I think going on to the play for Man City, they just want to constantly just keep pinging the ball around.
Well, Manchester United now with Højlund trying to break forward, but look at that. Chasing back by Kyle Walker, getting right in Højlund's face immediately. The ball is won back so quickly by Manchester City, and this is a difference between the two teams. When Manchester City don't have the ball, they get it back ultra quickly. They're almost defending all over the field, and this is what makes them such a difficult team to beat. Because any possession that you do have that are allowed by Manchester City, you've almost got to take almost every chance and that you have. And City are moving forward now with Gvardiol, and it's now back with Kyle Walker and back to Diaz. Diaz is looking at the options he's got available. It's given the ball to Rodri. Rodri back to Stones. Some space again for Manchester City. Far too much of it. Stones gives it to Alvarez. Alvarez back to Foden. Great one-touch football there. And it's back to Alvarez again. And again, Alvarez inside the D. Oh, that's a beautiful play. Here's a chance by Grealish across the penalty area. Oh, and Alvarez just couldn't get the final touch. But that is absolutely exquisite football once again by Manchester City, Luke.
Brilliant play. I mean, Maguire was all over Haaland in the box, but then as it came out to the other side to Grealish, it was pulled across, and yeah, it was just inches away from Alvarez.
Well, what a chance there! But City again win the ball back, and they go all the way back to Edison, and Edison clears it long, and it's out of play. It's going to be a throw in for Manchester United. But Manchester United in this second half, Luke, are really getting a lesson in football, and I have to say, what I'm seeing from Manchester City is such impressive football. Here is Evans, and he gives it back there to Maguire. Maguire plays the ball forward, and Fernandez under pressure, and he's adjudged to have been fouled by Haaland, and it's going to be a free kick. And Fernandez is complaining. He's got the free kick. It's not a yellow card, but he's still managing to find a complaint or two, Luke.
No, I think they're giving it the other way because Fernandez fouled Haaland.
Oh, yes, you're quite right. Indeed, they have. Yes, it's going to be John Stones now, and he's got the free kick. And I'm just going to see what he's going to do with this. We're on the hour mark. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2 at Old Trafford, and they're taking their time. And the Manchester United players want to know why. The free kick is finally taken, and it's broken down a little bit. But Haaland has won the ball back again, and Haaland now edge of the penalty area gives the ball to Foden. Foden inside the penalty area. Foden. It's looking at getting the shot away, but here's Rodri to clear up the loose ball. Foden gets the ball back, and it's now back with Diaz as City once again just going back and starting again, and happy to keep possession of the ball. And it's once they have possession, it's so hard to get the ball off them. And here's Rodri, gives the ball to Stones. Stones down this near side to Alvarez. Alvarez right hand side. Just looking for options available. Again, no, he's happy to just turn back and give the ball to Kyle Walker. Walker back to Alvarez. City once again, they're probably going to go all the way back to Edison here. They go back to Diaz and eventually back to Edison. And Edison now gives the ball to Rodri. And Rodri to Haaland. They almost have a telepathic understanding of each other, Luke. Ball played forward here. And just kind of covering up there is Evans, who just drops it back to Onana, and Onana flicks it back to Evans. Luke, they just seem to have a telepathic understanding of one another, don't they?
It's what comes with playing with each other week in, week out, and not really creating that many errors. You just know where everyone's going to be, you know what runs are going to happen, and you can just play it sometimes without even looking because you know that a player is probably going to run on to the end of it. That's probably why they got so complacent in the first half because players hadn't done the run they wanted them to do.
Here's Maguire, who's under pressure. Maguire there from Grealish. He goes all the way back to Onana. And here is McTominay. McTominay plays it over on the far side. And just over there is, just not quite sure who that is over there. Looks like it's Lindelof, but it's coming back now. And the ball is played long down this near side. Actually, it is Lindelof down on this left-hand side. And it gives the ball to Evans. Evans, long ball there. And it's just intercepted there by Gvardiol. And Gvardiol just plays the ball to Grealish. Grealish looking at the options available, gives the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez breaking up from the back is Rodri. Rodri gives the ball to Foden. Foden to back to Alvarez. And it's back with Diaz now for Manchester City. And he goes back to Edison. Edison, Stones, back to Diaz. And Diaz now has the ball. And Diaz just holding the ball up. He's playing the ball forward here. And just lost my vision for a moment on my monitor, and it's picked up by Rodri. Rodri under pressure from Rashford, and now here is Kyle Walker getting forward in an advanced position. Is Walker across to Alvarez? Alvarez with a shot just goes way over and way wide. Disappointing effort by Alvarez, Luke.
Yeah, I expect better there from a player of Alvarez's quality.
Well, looks like Manchester United are warming up. Anthony and Anthony Martial are warming up at the moment. Maybe some changes afoot. So far, Pep Guardiola has opted not to make any changes. 63 minutes gone in the second half. It is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2. You're listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Commentary Services is the official player of the match sponsor on the Hub. And Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. You're also listening to this game on Turton Talks Football. If you like what you hear, please feel free to subscribe on that. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. I just seem to have lost my. Here we go. It's back now with Maguire. Maguire just plays the ball across to Eriksen. Eriksen plays the ball forward here, and here's Dalot. Dalot plays the ball into the penalty area, and the cross comes in, and it's just headed up into the air by Walker, not entirely away completely. Foden is helping out, and he just heads the ball out to Alvarez. As now City are on the break. Manchester City breaking forward, and it's back to Foden. Foden drops the ball back, and it's to Kyle Walker. Walker back to Diaz. Diaz, and holding up the play there is Rodri. Just gives the ball back to Diaz, and down this near side to Kyle Walker. Walker to Foden. Foden just plays the ball forward here to Stones. Stones just looking for options available. And here is Bernardo Silva. Silva, edge of the penalty area. He's going to have a shot, Silva, but it's right down the throat of Andre Onana. But once again, not closed down quick enough, Luke. Manchester United's defence is very questionable at the moment.
Closing down is not quick enough, that's true. But also, some of the City shots really need to be better in quality of troubling Onana.
Well, it was right at Onana, that one. It was a comfortable save for him to make. Here's Højlund. And it's over on the far side to Dalla from Mason Mount. And the crossing is a disappointing one by Dalla, rather respective of Manchester United's second half performance at the moment. Ederson clears the ball downfield. Haaland getting up for the header, or trying to. Maguire was all over him. And here's Maguire now. Gets the ball from Johnny Evans. And Maguire just over the halfway line. And he plays the ball forward off Bruno Fernandes, who is disappointed with that pass. Fernandes today, Luke, what's your assessment of Fernandes today? I don't think he's been quite with it today, to be honest.
I think he's been his bang average usual self, moaning around, sulking, not really doing anything, not influencing the game, just being his usual whining self.
Well, here's Walker, plays the ball forward to John Stones. John Stones to Alvarez. Alvarez, and it's given away now. Manchester United might have a chance here. But once again, City fighting to get that ball back, and Stones just blocks the pass. But Eriksen picks it up, corner of the penalty area, crosses the ball in, but it's blocked, and it goes behind for a corner to Manchester United. So 67 minutes gone here. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2. And the corner is going to be taken here as Manchester United need a goal back. A goal back for Manchester United might change the complexity of this game, but we'll see. The corner to be taken by Eriksen. It's swung in, headed up into the air by Alvarez, and goes over and out again for another Manchester United corner. So Eriksen will have another opportunity here. And with 23 minutes to go here in this Manchester derby. Manchester United desperately need something out of this game. And the corner is outswung and headed out by Stones, only as far as Fernandes again. Fernandes just drops the ball back to Dalla and back to Eriksen. Back to Dalla again. Dalla back to Eriksen. Swung in again, but just cleared away this time by Rodri. And Fernandes allows the ball to go out of play for a throw-in. And throw-in taken quickly, and here's Fernandes. Just drops it back into his own half of the field to Maguire. Maguire inside the centre circle now. It's got the options over there on the far side. Finds Dalla. Comes back to Maguire. And back to Lindelof. Lindelof under pressure there. He plays a good ball over on the far side to Dalla, though. That was a good ball by Lindelof, and finds Eriksen. Eriksen launches the ball into the box to Rashford. Real chance for Rashford! Oh, he pulls it wide! Oh, Rashford! Is this why he's only got one goal this season? And, well, look at this. What a chance, Luke. This was Manchester United's chance to get back in the game. Brought it down, really turned Walker inside and out, but the finish just wasn't there. He'd done the hard work.
He has to score there. That has to be a goal back. It just, wow. Yeah, that had to be a goal. That's not a good finish at all. That had to be buried. Chance like that.
Well, City now on the break. And here is Rodri. Just drops it back to Foden. Foden plays the ball across to Diaz. The chances that Manchester United have had, that would have really got them back into the game. But here's Walker. And it's back with Rodri. Rodri just gives the ball across there to Stones. Back to Rodri. 2-0 still to Manchester City, but Manchester United's best chance perhaps of the game, not just in the second half, is Gvardiol. Scoring has been a problem for Manchester United. In fact, Erling Haaland has got 9 goals this season. The entire front line of Manchester United combined has got 8. Ball is now with Rodri. He goes down to Kyle Walker. Walker gives the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez drops the ball back to Walker. And back with Diaz. Diaz looking at what options he's got available. And it's slipped forward to Stones. Stones, and lovely one-touch football again. A City breaking forward, 4-on-4. Here's Haaland with a chance for the hat-trick. Oh, what a super save by Andre Onana. 1-on-1 Haaland and Onana wins that battle. What a save, Luke.
Again, he's kept the score down. It really could be 6 or 7 if it wasn't for Andre Onana today. That was a brilliant save coming out, charging out to Haaland. If he hadn't have got there, that would have been a bird for Haaland.
Maguire didn't read it quickly enough, that's for sure. Well, that should have been 3. It should have been a hat-trick, but the corner is now to be taken, and it's Jack Grealish over on that left-hand side. He's going to get the cross in, Grealish. He's got Eriksen in front of him. Grealish cuts across to the corner of the penalty area. He does get a cross in. It's a poor one. It's headed out by Johnny Evans. It's back with Grealish. And here's Foden. Gives it to Walker, and the referee has allowed the game to go on. Here's Rodri, back to Haaland, and down this near side to Bernardo Silva, the right-hand side. Drops the ball to Diaz. Diaz back off Bernardo Silva to Diaz as Manchester City keep possession of the football. This is great play by them. Bernardo Silva pulls the ball back to the centre circle to Kyle Walker. Walker gives the ball down to Bernardo Silva again. And Foden, looking at the options available, lifts the ball over to Bernardo Silva. Read much better that time by Lindelof, but he's almost dispossessed, and Onana drops it, and Foden is not able to take advantage of that error by Onana. Well, he just wasn't able to keep a hold of it, was Onana, and, well, that was a chance for City as well, Luke.
Yeah, both sides are not taking the evident chances they're now getting, but I think Man City are just toying round with Man United, just playing it round. And for all Onana's good work with the saves, there's other elements of his game that really do let him down.
Well, substitution taken quickly. Substitute done by Manchester United. Højlund has gone off, and Garnacho has gone on. Somebody else, Reguilon has gone on as well. So Reguilon and Garnacho are on. Højlund is off. We're just waiting to see who the other substitution is, and Lindelof. So Højlund and Lindelof are off, and Garnacho and Reguilon are on. Reguilon wears 15, Garnacho 17, of course. So that is the second and third substitution by Manchester United. Pep Guardiola has really kept his cards close to his chest and has made no further changes. And I just wonder, see Anthony there shaking his head, Luke. I wonder if he's disappointed he's not been brought on.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. You're putting a defender on when you're 2-0 down.
Well, here comes City again. And here is Grealish. Grealish cutting into the edge of the area. He's going to get the shot away. Grealish! Oh! And it looks like it took a deflection and it just goes wide. We'll just take a look at this again. Grealish just pulling across to the edge of the penalty area. Yes, it looks like it deflected off Eriksen. It's going to be a corner to Manchester City. And again, though, perhaps they're bringing on the defenders to shore up the defence a little bit, because the defence has been absolutely woeful in the second half, and they're giving City far too much space in and around their own penalty area. And it's a corner of the penalty area now. Foden swings it in all the way to the back post. It's headed across by Rodri. Again, just hacked away, this time by McTominay. And Manchester United just trying to get possession so they can create a counter-attack. And Garnacho there, the pass to him was intercepted by Diaz. And Manchester United have got a throw-in. And you're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Commentary Services is the official player of the match sponsor on the hub, and Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. You're listening to this game also on Turton Talks Football. Please subscribe if you like that. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub, Luke, and that's my marketing duties done for the day. And there's Johnny Evans, just gives the ball back to Maguire. Maguire just plays the ball forward there to Dalla, and it's now back with Eriksen as Manchester United trying to get back into this game. Eriksen's ball is disappointing, and it's picked up comfortably, and here's Foden. Foden plays the ball looking for Haaland, but Maguire just gets ahead of there to block that pass that time, and Maguire now just looking at what options are available for him. And he just drops it back there to Reguilon, and it goes back to the goalkeeper, Andre Onana, as Manchester United start again. And in about 12 or 13 minutes' time, Luke, I'm going to be asking you for the player of the match. So you'll want to get your thinking cap on. And it's cleared downfield and out. Oh, just kept in play actually that time by Jack Grealish, but the ball eventually does go out of play off Mason Mount, and it's going to be a throw in to Manchester City. You see Gary Neville in the crowd there, who's, well, he doesn't look very happy, Luke, does he?
You mean Gareth Southgate?
Gareth Southgate. Yeah, thanks. I don't know why I thought that was Neville. What's the matter with me? Oh. All right, well, it's back there, and it's Rodri now. Rodri plays the ball forward to Alvarez, and it's now back with Diaz and Rodri over the halfway line, and back with Kyle Walker. Well, Walker just gives the ball to Rodri again. And played forward there, just off Alvarez, and back now with Diaz. Diaz were bringing the ball forward, and not tried to knock on there by Silva, but it finds Foden in the penalty area, and Foden might have been better shooting there. The City continue to just knock the ball about. They're quite comfortable just doing this. Here's Silva, and it's back with Walker. Walker, all the way back to Diaz. Stones. Right now, this is just wonderful one-touch football by Manchester City. It's now with Foden, edge of the penalty area. Is Foden going to shoot? No, he's just going to drop it back to Bernardo Silva. I mean, Manchester United just can't get the ball back, can they, Luke?
No, Man City are totally dominant. I mean, they're just interchanging it round. They're just probably trying to tire Man United out a little bit now.
Well, it seems to be working because they've just kept the ball now. They've had the ball for a very sustained amount of time, even by Manchester City standards, and it's Bernardo Silva, and he just goes back there, and it's lifted forward there to Alvarez, a beautiful pass, and Alvarez has got Foden alongside him, and it's about to get worse at the moment for Manchester United because they're just knocking the ball around so well. I just seem to have lost my stream again. And the ball is, well, it's a third goal for Manchester City. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring it to you. My stream had gone. But Manchester City are 3-0 up. Perhaps, Luke, you'd talk us through that.
Yeah, when the replay comes up, I'll tell you, it's just currently showing the City players celebrating in the corner. So, yeah, so the ball was on the other side with Grealish, and it was interchanged around. They were just passing it round at will. And they were back out to, well, a shot from Haaland, who then pulled it across to Foden, who just slid it in. So, Derby down as a Haaland assist as well. The initial shot, it comes at Haaland, he then pulls it across to where Foden was, and he just slides it in. The initial shot was from Rodri.
And I seem to have lost my stream again. But it's it's 3-0 to Manchester City right now, and just update that.
Manchester United fans are now starting to leave around
Yes,
where Ten Hag is sitting.
they're just streaming out of the arena now, and with 10 minutes left, it's not looking good, is it, for Manchester United? Your thoughts on today's game, Luke, in terms of their performance? It's really not been a generally a good performance, has it?
Really lackluster. They started off well, but then they've just started to just kind of get dominated over by Manchester City, and Walker just streaming forward, and it's coming forward again with Grealish now towards the
Grealish
box.
just plays the ball into the penalty area. It's a bicycle kick there by Foden, and it just goes behind, and it is 3-0 still, but that was an audacious effort by Foden, and it goes behind for a goal kick. It's sparkling attempt though, Luke. Eh?
Well, you just know that Man City are going to pass it around at will. They'll destroy teams if you let them. If you sit off them, they'll just keep playing it around, and they're just showing their class today.
Well, it's now back with the goalkeeper, but it's a ball given away, and now Manchester United perhaps have a chance. Eriksen, Eriksen just gives the ball to Garnacho. Garnacho gets inside the penalty area, and it's just good work. That's excellent work. And here's Foden, and he is fouled, and it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United, and it's Bruno Fernandes. The ball going out of play there is Bruno Fernandes, and it's back with Maguire. Um, and here's Fernandes. Fernandes to Garnacho. Garnacho, edge of the penalty area, is brought down there, and play goes on. And here is Grealish. Grealish just inside his own half of the field, and he gives it back to Dalot. And just now is Eriksen. Now gets the ball and is getting towards the corner of the penalty area. The cross coming in by Eriksen, and it's into the arms of Ederson as Manchester United let another chance go by there.
Really tame cross by Eriksen. That was poor. Really should do better. And now Bruno Fernandes is down holding his ankle.
Okay, and he's just on his feet now. Is Bruno Fernandes? It just looks like it just looks like he might have taken a knock there off Stones. Oh yes, that's knee to knee. That's going to be very painful. He's on his feet now, but the rain tumbling down in Manchester, and it's tumbling down on Manchester United's season so far. Things are really getting from bad to worse. And I can tell you, it's this Manchester United team are really struggling. Here's Rashford, who himself, compared to last season, has struggled. He wins a corner, and Manchester United have 6 minutes to see if they can get anything from this game. But it is not looking. It's not looking good. It is not looking good at all. And well, a corner to be taken by Bruno Fernandes. And it's swung out there to Eriksen, who got the volley on there, but it's blocked by Walker. Good defending. And here is Rashford, who picks up the ball. But that was an interesting move by Manchester United, Luke.
Again, they like to be creative with the set pieces. So again, wasn't surprising that they tried to swing and then get a volley in there.
And here is Reguilon. Reguilon just gives the ball back to McTominay, and it's bouncing around a little bit on the edge of the area. It's won back by Maguire, but then cleared away by Stones, and just headed on there by Eriksen. And so far, with 5 minutes to go in this game, it is 3-0 to Manchester United, and 2 more substitutes coming up, and it's going to be Fernandes. It's going to be Antony and also Martial. We're just going to see who is coming off.
Wow. Utterly wow. He leaves it till now.
Well, it's Eriksen coming off. And we're just trying to see who the other one is coming off right now. It's Rashford. Well, he's been disappointing today too, really, hasn't he? So that's the 4th and 5th substitution used by, and 2 finally for Manchester City. So we're just going to take a look at that. That is Kovacic and Jeremy Doku. So I expect it's Haaland and probably Grealish, maybe. But let's see. Yes, it is Grealish. We're just trying to see who the other one is. It's Alvarez, yes. So we've got double substitutions all over the place. Anthony Martial and Antony coming on for Rashford and Eriksen for Manchester United. Doku and Kovacic coming on for Alvarez and Grealish for the Citizens. And you have to say at this stage, Luke, I think that's probably just to get some game time in, really, more than anything else, isn't it?
Well, freshens it up a bit, creates a bit more havoc for Manchester United. There's still opportunity for another goal yet.
Well, it certainly is, and we know how good Jeremy Doku can be in front of goal. So it certainly looks. Well, we'll see how it all plays out, and very shortly we're going to be asking Luke for his player of the match. Here's Foden, and just here is won back by Bruno Fernandes. The ball is played forward now to Garnacho. Garnacho's got some time and space. He gets into the penalty area, but a good challenge by Kyle Walker. And it's going to be a corner to Manchester City. To Manchester United. And Fernandes is going over to take it. And we're going to get Luke's player of the match in the next stoppage of play. But the corner is going to be taken by Bruno Fernandes. And Fernandes swings it in. It's headed up into the air and out, only as far as Reguilon. Reguilon heads it in and out again. And right now you can see the challenge is going on there, but it's offside, in fact, when the ball was headed back into play. So, Luke, why don't you tell us your player of the match is sponsored by the brilliant commentary services?
Bernardo Silva, because he's been all over the place. His link-up play with Phil Foden is amazing, and I just think he's been top class today.
Well, there's the player of the match, and it looks like they're in agreement on the TV commentators, Luke. Looks like they've just in total agreement with you. So Bernardo Silva, player of the match, and he's sponsored by the brilliant commentary services. And I have to say, I totally agree with Luke on his decision there. I think Bernardo Silva has been quite brilliant today. And here is Maguire for Manchester United. And the ball is played forward, but that is out of play. Garnacho is never going to be able to keep that ball in play as we are inside the last minute here of the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. It is Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3. And you can see Eric Ten Hag there. Well, he must be absolutely furious. Given your thoughts, Luke, really, as we're now sort of in the last minute of the game, perhaps you just give us your assessment of Manchester United's performance today.
Abysmal, lacking quality, lacking fight, lacking desire, lacking any kind of thing going forward, mediocre at the back. If it wasn't for Onana, it'd be like 7-0. Honestly, poor. Really, really, really poor.
Well, Manchester City, now as we approach the 90th minute, we're just waiting to see what sort of stoppage time is going to be added on. And here is Bernardo Silva. There's 4 minutes to be added on, which has been given by Craig Pawson. And hits Rodri. Rodri down this near side to Foden. Foden just pulls the ball back to Kyle Walker. As you feel now that Manchester City are just kind of playing out this game now, just keeping possession now, toying with Manchester United. Here is Bernardo Silva, and it's Rodri. Rodri plays a wonderful ball on the far side to Doku, but that was a good interception that time as Manchester United now trying to break the ball away. And, that's a challenge by Dalot. It's lucky he missed that. And the ball is now played forward there by Rodri. And Stones just knocks the ball back to Diaz. Diaz to Doku. Doku. And it's got McTominay in front of him. And here's Kovacic. Kovacic back to McTominay as Old Trafford empties out now. Manchester United fans just leaving in droves. It's Doku. Is he fouled that time? The referee says yes. Oh, and Anthony's lashing out, and he needs to be careful here. He's going to go into the referee's notebook to begin with, but he needs to just behave himself at this point. A silly challenge, Luke.
He really is a hothead, isn't he, Anthony? Like, why? What is it? He kicks out at Doku, and they both go looking for it. I mean, Doku's shaking his finger, so it probably didn't help that Doku was also losing his head. Like, let's everybody remain calm. Like, it's just a stroll around on the grass at this point. Lol.
Well, it kind of is, really, isn't it? It's that's. I mean, I'm going to get your assessment of Manchester City's performance after this free kick, Luke. But I suspect it's probably something along the lines of about 2 levels above Manchester United. Here's Doku. in the penalty area. He's got time and space. Can he get the cross in, Doku? It's somehow it just ends up going out of play, but and it's going to be a corner as we approach the 93rd minute of the 4 minutes that Craig Pawson has added on. Of course, that's only a minimal amount. Paul Tierney can add on more if he wants to increase more misery on Manchester United. Again, they were quite fortunate there when Doku got in the penalty area. Again, a really poor time challenge. Corner is taken short, and it's with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva launches it in, and it's hacked away only as far as the shot from Mateo Kovacic. And under pressure there is it's another free kick to Manchester City. And they're going to take all day with this, of course. So while this is happening, Luke, give me your assessment of Manchester City's performance.
Glowing. They just played it around. They started off quite slow, but then they've grown into the game. They've just pinged it around. They've messed around with Manchester United, and yeah, at the end of the day, they've been the far better side.
Well, it's Rodri who's now on his feet, and Bruno Fernandes, who's been booked, just wants to step away now because he's arguing with the Manchester City players. Bruno Fernandes has just been booked for the challenge. He's now in there with Walker. I mean, I suppose as a captain, he has the right to discuss matters with the referee, but he needs to be careful. He has been shown the yellow card, and it is going to be a free kick to Manchester City, and it's about 25 yards out. Just gonna referee Paul Tierney just trying to puts the spray down to lay out where the Manchester United wall should be, and there's Johnny Evans in there. There is see who else is in there. McTominay, I think, is in there as well. Manchester City have an entire free kick committee over this one, including Haaland. And there seems to be, oh, well, you see, Manchester City, they're arguing again. Oh, look at that. Anthony's got to be very careful. Did you see that, Luke? He almost headbutted Doku there.
The angle's not great, and I didn't really see much. But if he has, then why has VAR not picked it up?
Well, that's we could talk all day about that, and we're running out of time. It's going to be a free kick here to Manchester United. We are going to get to Manchester City. We are going to get the free kick taken. It looks like it's going to be Haaland. Everybody else seems to have moved away. And the shot is blocked there. And that's it. That's full time. And it's 3-0 to Manchester City. A dominant second half performance with a second goal from Haaland and Phil Foden adding one. Luke, it's just been a very dominant performance by Manchester City as they close the gap on Spurs at the top of the table. But it's full time here at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3. Luke, let's be having your thoughts on that.
Manchester United were poor. They started off well, but then they gave away a ridiculous penalty. And then second half, Man City came out and just toyed with them. Haaland scoring that second goal, which is brilliant. He got into some clear space and just headed it in. Managed to then battle through to put the ball across to Foden for the next one after save from Onana from Rodri's initial effort. And then it was far too easy for Manchester City in that game. Manchester United started losing their heads as soon as they put Anthony on. And at the end of the day, substitutions were made way too late. And yeah, I'm just not impressed with Manchester United. They've got players out of form, players that would rather spend most of their time putting effort into complaining instead of actually playing the football. They were pretty non-existent for the majority of the game, and Man City deserved to come out winners. Simple as.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Luke, for your input today. We definitely appreciate you being on the show, and we're going to just go through some of the scores now in the Premier League and some of the other leagues around Europe today. So for the Premier League, West Ham 0, Everton 1. Aston Villa 3, Luton 1, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0. We're going to get Luke's assessment on that game in just a moment, but we'll go through these scores first. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3, of course, you have just heard. In Ligue 1, Brest 2, Paris Saint-Germain 3, Lille 2, Monaco 0, Metz 0, Le Havre 0, Montpellier 3, Toulouse 0. Rennes and Strasbourg. Rennes lead 1-0 right now, 69 minutes gone in that. And Marseille and Lyon lock horns at 7:45 UK time. In the German Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt 3, Borussia Dortmund 3, Bayer Leverkusen 1, Freiburg 0. That is a half-time score. And in Serie A, Cagliari 4, Frosinone 3, Monza 1, Udinese 1, Inter 0, AS Roma 0, 31 minutes gone there, and at 7:45 UK time, Napoli and AC Milan lock horns. And in La Liga, it is Betis 2, Osasuna 1, Rayo Vallecano 2, Real Sociedad 2. Atletico Bilbao and Valencia are only 2 minutes in there. It's 0-0 there. And at 9 p.m. UK time, Atletico Madrid and Alvarez lock horns as well. And in the English Championship today, there was a game, a surprising result here. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Rotherham United 0. And also in the Scottish Premier League, 2 games today. Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0. Rangers 2, Heart of Midlothian 1. Just going to go through the Premier League scores from Friday and Saturday. Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. That was Friday. On Saturday, there was only 4 games in the Premier League. It was Chelsea 0, Brentford 2. Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Newcastle United 2. So those are your score updates from the weekend and the games around Europe today. Luke, I just want to discuss with you today Nottingham Forest's overall performance and defeat to Liverpool today. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, no surprise that a team that is so insistent on sitting back in a back five and having to then have the ball. Murillo as a player is a great player. He's come over from Brazil, but naively you can't keep carrying the ball out and running into the opposition half blind and getting the ball taken off you, especially at Anfield, because you're just gonna get punished, which we were. And then this trend of goalkeepers coming miles out of their goal. Matt Turner, it was not the time or the place to be coming out of your goal and basically getting in the way with a defender, knowing you full well can't use your hands when you're outside of the box, which then basically just allowed Mo Salah to dink it totally over everybody into the net. It's embarrassing. We are making errors, big errors, and we are just getting hardly any points. We've had 3 points over the past 4 games. It's starting to get very embarrassing. And in my opinion, when senior players are also making crucial errors, we have a problem.
Well, thanks very much for your thoughts on that, Luke, and thanks again for joining us today for this Manchester derby. It's been a day of tech issues. It's been a day of a dominant Manchester City performance, and it really has been a blue Sunday. Good night.